was to hear God say, well done. I made up my mind. And I've got witnesses. I'm going to do what the Lord said do. Now God have already declared the end from the beginning. Before I was formed in my mother's womb. Get me the first chapter of Jeremiah. And I will tell you what God told me. 1:5. If somebody read that to me. Before I was formed in my mother's womb, God had called me. Lord have mercy. And I found out that he called me, Vanessa, a long time ago. When I came into the world, I made up my mind that I was going to find out what God wanted me to do. So when I come into the world, Mother taught me about the Lord coming up as a child. So when I got the Holy Ghost, I made up my mind. There's something for me to do. You see, you got to make up your mind. You know, B, when you come out here, you got yourself a job, and you're so happy for that. And you sought for that job, didn't you? But did you seek the Lord to find out why you're here? That's where we fail. There's a reason for us to be here today. We're so wrapped up with ourselves, we feel like that we're the reason for being here. We decided to, but our steps was ordered by the Lord. Said in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your steps. And the steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord. Read 1:5. Read it.
Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying.
Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Before God formed us in the belly. Now you have admitted that you have a calling on you. You do admit that. He said to Jeremiah, and he also said to Mama, and he's also saying to y'all, before I formed thee in the belly, read,
I knew thee.
Now I'm dealing with God's chosen people. He said, I knew thee. You were in my plans. You were in my plans. God knows. Do you know? Your priority ought to be finding out why. What am I doing here? Let's not talk with you. I don't know what that thing is when you get in this city. You get in this city and you go just reach it out. They heard that this was a city of refuge or utopia, or I don't know what they got in their mind. Can I be myself today? It's something about coming in this place. You feel like, oh, now it's time for me to receive. I guess the way I talk about it. You got to suffer a little while, honey. You got to get your priorities straight. What's first in your life? I didn't come here seeking my way. Read that.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Now, he said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
And before thou camest forth out of the
and
womb,
even before you come out of the womb,
I sanctified thee.
God set us aside. And I wouldn't be afraid to say most everyone in here is a misfit in the world. We don't belong out there. People don't receive us. Every one of them. People just don't receive us like right. You was an outcast at school. You didn't fit. You didn't belong. You tried to belong. I tried to belong. I wanted my bishop to be proud of me. I tried to get with him. But when you're in God's, every time he'll call you contrary to what they're saying. We were outcasts. He sanctified us. You young people here, I know where you stand. You're an outcast. You don't fit out there. You tried to. So you try to get down just as low as the rest of them so they will accept you. They're not going to accept y'all. You got a mark upon you. We got a mark upon us. They're not going to accept you. God have sanctified you. Set you aside. You can't make it out there. And some of you are honest enough to come back to the church and say it. You can't make it. Even your friends, they realize this world is not for me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. After it's all said and done, the church is where you find yourself trying to find. Oh, I feel like I'm touching something now. Read.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified
It's before you came out of the womb, God sanctified you, Brother Anderson. See, God had already said, I declared the end from the beginning. I'm getting ready to get through now. I'm winding. You get out there and you get your little money and you lay it aside. So I don't care what Mama's saying. Honey, I know that we got to live. I'm certainly not against you working. I would be the last one to be against somebody working. We wouldn't have no church here. But what I want you to do is get your priorities straight. What's the most important thing in your life? Lord have mercy. If God sanctified us, set us aside, it was for his counsel. I had the nerve to worry about y'all when y'all left the other night. That's why I was all smiles. I laid in my bed. I said, Lord, help them to see. Sometimes it's a little hard. But getting your priorities straightened out, you got to go through a lot of things that you don't want to go through. Oh, read. Read so I can quit.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified.
He said, before you came forth out of the womb, he sanctified you. Y'all know that. You done tried everything and can't get over yet. There's no peace. Some of us is so proud. We sit up in church. God then took us off the dunghill when we're laying there in our own blood polluted. And he couldn't stand to look at us, so he threw his skirts over us. And we get a little dime's worth of Holy Ghost, and then it becomes so proud. Tip it in the church instead of getting down on your face and asking, Lord, crying on the Father, what will you have me to do? Lord have mercy. Why am I here? We're funny people. Some of you might have had something before you got here. I didn't have nothing when I got here. What little I had was so little, it didn't even matter. God brought me out here and gave me 2 dresses. And then we're going to sit up here and try to get prettier than anybody in the church. God called you as a witness. You have a about ministry. This child shouldn't have to do that alone. It should have been done out of the mouth of 2 or 3. But somebody haven't put God first. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to beat y'all up. This is a sneak attack. I thought I was going to have y'all run them down the aisle. Somebody should have got that. That's why God can't have his way. God was going to bring a message to us. We think we're something when we're nothing. Read.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified.
You really want us to get that, don't you? Before we came out of our mother's womb, God sanctified us. That meant he set us aside. You know you're set aside.
That's right.
You tell your children, you say, you know what? I always believed I had a calling on my life. Somebody told me, said, Mama, you know I've always prayed. I said, yes, I have too. I've always prayed when I was a little girl. And to us, God have dealt with us as one-on-one basis. I used to have him to rub my head. He was that real to me. And I would be down crying, just a child, asking him, Lord, why was I born? Don't nobody love me. And he would stroke my head, and I could feel him. And he would say, I love you. And it was so real to me, I said, Lord, I know you love me, but I want somebody down here to love me. That's how it really was. God have made everyone that he have sanctified, dealing with Jeremiah here, a prophet. He set him aside. You have a personal relationship with him if you want it. You can talk to him one-on-one if you want to. He made you different from the beginning. You see? But your priorities is off. We're not looking for Jesus to come. Somebody said, all right, it's 1991. We got about 10 years.